I don't like the idea of losing over 20 pounds of muscle. I don't like the idea that became the reality of losing a lot of strength, so I've decided to go back on it.
And so the message I'm getting is that he's not enough. What he's doing on his own was simply not enough. That is, in fact, to me, a scary message. Coach Greg, in today's video, the Liver King claps back. He's responding to myself as well as Penguin C0, Charlie, call him what you will, accusations that the Liver King is not actually natural.
And when asked if I've ever taken steroids, I've always said no. I don't touch the stuff, not gonna touch the stuff, never touch the stuff. That was a lie.
After all, if you remember, he was outed for taking steroids, GH, and so on, and then stated he's going to go 100% natural, that he's not going to take anything. And I'd written and made videos said this is not a good idea after abusing steroids for this long to simply go off everything. It's not smart. You're going to lose a ton of muscle, not going to feel good. And so my suggestion would have been to go on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, exactly what I'm on. And so let's see what the Liver King has to say. Is he going to come clean that he's not actually 100% natural? What is he going to say this time?
I went 220 days without any steroid, without any growth hormone, without any peptide, without anything synthetic.
And so the Liver King states that he did not take anything. He didn't do a PCT, didn't go to a doctor and come off properly. He just decided to go cold turkey for 220 days. And I can tell you this, I don't buy it. I don't believe it. Why would he do something so moronic? Why would you go from taking abusive doses of performance-enhancing drugs to just suddenly cutting them off, to take nothing, not even HRT? Even a doctor, if he knew you were going from taking abusive levels of steroids to nothing, would want to help the transition. And so I've been watching the Liver King throughout all of this, and I can tell you this. I did not see a significant difference in his physique when he was taking everything to when he took nothing. There should be a remarkable drop-off in size, strength, conditioning, body composition, and so on, if he in fact did go off of everything. Not to mention his sex drive, his libido should have been in the toilet. But I did not hear him speak to any of this. Remember, the Liver King has money. He can get monitored. And so if he was actually natural for 220 days, of which he states right here, why does he not have any blood work to support these claims? Are we just supposed to believe him? Remember, this is a guy that lied to everyone about being natural. It was out as being not natty. Made an apology, said he's going 100% natural. And now he's claiming he's still natural, but have you seen his physique? Does it look like he lost a ton of muscle? Does it look like he put on body fat? I don't think so.
There's been a lot of accusations. You don't just get more shredded and more vascular and more yada 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 when you come off steroids.
Exactly. I stated in a video, Liver King looked more shredded, more crazy than he did while he was on performance-enhancing drugs. And his defense is this.
So I was about 206 pounds in December. And then I got down to, all the way down to 182. So I've lost over 20 pounds.
And so he says, yeah, back then I was 206 pounds and now I'm 182. That means I lost 24 pounds of muscle. Does anyone think the Liver King actually lost 24 pounds of muscle? And so just because you type what you weighed and that you can check it out, doesn't mean that's what you actually weighed. Was he at 206? Was that first thing in the morning? Was that when he was dehydrated after he'd finished a very large meal? And what about 182? When was that? First thing in the morning, dehydrated? We don't know. How could you have proven this to us? Well, you would have done regular blood work. Imagine you're trying to come clean, say you're 100% natural. Why wouldn't you bother to at least get blood work on a few occasions to say, hey, check this out. My testosterone levels are here, SHBG, all this. Does it look like I'm taking anything? Because it would be very easy for him to have shown this, but yet he chose not to. And so I guess we're supposed to take his word for it. You know that story about crying wolf? When you cry wolf too many times, people don't believe it. And so you have to go above and beyond to actually prove what you're actually doing.
Anybody who interacts with me in real life will tell you I look leaner.
When you stop taking steroids, it doesn't actually make you leaner. If anything, it's harder to stay lean because your metabolism is slowing down. You don't have nutrient partitioning that's occurring. Everything you're eating is not turning into muscle. And so you'd have to reduce the amount of calories in your diet in order to keep the same level of conditioning as you had while you're taking steroids.
All you have to do is look at my social media photos. Look at it from December to now and tell me that you can't tell the difference. Massive difference.
And so if you go through his thousands of photos and pick the biggest one and compare it to the thousands of photos and take the smallest one, I'm sure you can make an argument, say, see, look, 24 pounds of muscle that was lost here. Can't you see the visual changes? No, I can't actually see that you've lost 24 pounds of muscle. I don't see it. I don't believe it. I mean, as he's sitting here on this chair, shirtless with veins popping out everywhere, does he actually think that he lost 24 pounds of muscle? Well, consider this. I weighed 185.4 this morning. We're about the same height. If Liver King was shredded and 206 pounds, he could do very well in a professional bodybuilding contest. It's called the 212 class. Guys can only weigh up to 212. Liver King is short, and if he was 206 pounds shredded, that would be a ton of muscle. When I competed at my biggest, 195. And so was the Liver King actually bigger than Coach Greg? I don't think so. I don't think you could beat me in a professional bodybuilding competition.
My 1 rep max strict press was like 255, and I couldn't even hit 205 in July. So I've decided to go back on it. I'm taking testosterone. It's a cream. I do 3 clicks of it a day. I'm also doing a growth hormone. It's 2 clicks a day.
And so because he lost 24 pounds of muscle and because he got weaker, he's now decided, I'm going back on HRT and GH because I don't like losing muscle. I don't like getting weaker.
I don't like the idea of losing over 20 pounds of muscle. I don't like the idea that became the reality of losing a lot of strength.
Did anyone in the world actually think that you could go off of steroids and just rely on bull testicles and you keep all of your gains? Of course not. When you're on abusive doses or even small doses of performance-enhancing drugs and you stomp them, you're going to lose a ton of muscle. And of course, with that, a lot of strength. Why did he not just go on HRT in the first place? If you're on abusive doses and you need to suddenly go off, you should go and see your doctor. Ask the doctor what you should do.
So I've decided to go back on it.
And so he's decided to go back on, to take performance-enhancing drugs, but this time just doing HRT doses. And I do believe he'll be monitored by a doctor, but why has he not been monitored thus far? Think of it, 220 days. What was he during that time? He'd been on abusive doses of steroids and growth hormone. And so why was his blood work not being done? Hey, it's been 30 days, 60, 90 days. We should see where you're at. Are your LH and FSH starting to rise? What about your SHBG? How's your free and bioavailable testosterone? But no, nothing. All we know is that he said he wrote down his weight, and we should trust him that those are the actual numbers.
So why am I getting back on? I've done what I need to do. I've proven what I needed to prove to me.
And so he says, why am I going on HRT? Well, I've proven what I needed to do to myself. I've proven that I could do it. Really? Was he not trying to prove to all of the followers, all of his fans, that he could do it? Was it only for himself? And if it was just for himself, why did he announce anything? You can do anything for yourself and not make an announcement. I can say, hey, I'm going to take up piano lessons and I can learn to play the piano. I don't have to make a video and prove to myself I can learn to play the piano. I can just play it. I don't need to announce it. And so I found it odd that he would say, I needed to prove to myself, and in doing so, he's telling you all about it. I think that's weird. And if he wanted to prove it to us, you need to back it up with some blood work.
I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to get this message out. Does the messenger kill the message? Sometimes, yeah.
And Liver King states, does the messenger kill the message? Sometimes it does, and he does in fact think that he has done so. And I have to agree with him. If ancestral living were actually so great, having watched the Liver King, it's not going to make me want to try it. It's going to make me want to stay away from it.
Does the messenger kill the message? Sometimes, yeah. I know that I do. Do I ratchet it up? I do.
And so I feel it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. He took anabolic steroids, performance-enhancing drugs to get his physique, stopped for 220 days, of which I'd argue that I don't think so. I don't see 24 pounds of muscle loss, maybe some, but how do we really know? And so what was the end of this? What was the conclusion? That he couldn't handle being natural. That it was too much, that he couldn't handle only strict pressing 205 instead of 250, that having only 182 pounds of shredded muscle, that isn't enough, that he misses being even the more jacked 206 pounds. And so that to me is scary. What are people going to think? The Liver King who's trying to do everything healthy, trying to be the perfect specimen, single digit body fat, crazy abs, strong, but yet even he can't handle it without HRT. And so the message I'm getting is that he's not enough. What he's doing on his own was simply not enough. Because if it was, why would he need to then go on HRT? Just to get a bit stronger and have more muscle that he doesn't need? That is, in fact, to me, a scary message. Because 99% of people, even with steroids, will never look like the Liver King.
I've never said taking my supplements, you're going to look like me.
And I have to agree with Liver King. I don't think he'd ever suggested that if you took his same supplements that you would have his same physique. Although he did suggest that if you took those same supplements, you'd have a better physique. I don't think he was trying to insinuate that you're going to look like the Liver King if you take the stuff that he's selling. In the same sense, I don't say that any of my supplements like G-Test, GO2 Max, Ecti Builder, I don't ever say that if you take these, you're going to look like Coach Greg. I've always stated I'm on 140 milligrams of HRT a week, and I do in fact credit the fact that I have really great genetics that allowed me to end up looking like this. You can't just train, take all the supplements in the world, and expect to look like an IFBB pro. Those people, they're born with elite level genetics, they did everything right, and that's why they got a pro card.
My supplements won't do it, but there is one thing that might do it. If you take Greg's supplements.
How long is he going to be with us? And so, of course, you can buy products from me. They're not banned by water. And, of course, the cookbooks, training books.
That might actually do it. That's worth a shot. I would do it.
And so, no, unfortunately, even my supplements, all the amazing supplements that have cookbooks and all, nothing is going to make you look like the Liver King.
There's this accusation that I look like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Total Recall, that I'm all red and I'm about to explode. To me, this is a great compliment.
And frankly, he could just have some reddening of the skin from being in the sun too long without a shirt. No, I'm assuming the Liver King does not wear sunscreen. And so if you're exposed to UV rays from morning until night, skin tends to get a little red. And so let me know in the comment section, do you think that the Liver King actually went natty for 220 plus days? Do you think he lost 24 pounds of muscle, or is he perhaps exaggerating a little bit? I do in fact believe him when he says he's going to be taking HRT with the clicks of the cream as well as the GH. I do believe that to be true. However, why did he not get his blood work throughout all of this? Think of it. He's documenting his life. Why would he choose not to document something so important? I have my blood work, going to do a video on it, going to show you all the blood work, start to finish, to be totally transparent. And so I see no reason why the Liver King could not have done the same. And so to anyone out there with impressive physiques, if you are claiming to be natural, very good idea to get your blood work done. You can post it. And although it's not going to prove natural or not natural, it's certainly going to help back up your case or make you seem guiltier than last time. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Don't forget to watch one of those two bloops. And of course, cookbooks, training books, the Circle Diet book, the Harder Than Last Time clothing line, tanks, sweaters, all of it. Head out to the website, code Greg 10% off. And until next time, I am out.